Welcome, welcome, welcome. Whole World Protect Thyself YouTube page where we face tough situations head on. Find the best decisions. In this cold world, self-protection is key. In this cold world, wisdom is armor. So in this cold world, we must always protect thyself.
Kelly goes on the Shannon Sharp podcast and explains his relationship throughout his career.
Me was that relationship is very important, and you need to let people know how you feel. At that time, I really wasn't doing that.
Right.
There was a trust thing. You know what I mean? I had already been through death, within my family in Chicago, and all these things were going on. At this point, both of my uncles was murdered. I had a friend that was murdered that we talked about. Yep. All this happened around the same time. And so there wasn't any, I wasn't seeing any therapist or anything of that nature. I was just working constantly working on the show and within doing that. And then at that time, too, I ended up marrying my ex-wife, because we had another baby. We had the baby, right? We had the abortion, but then we had a baby. And she ended up telling me that the baby that was aborted wasn't mine. And so within that process, you are immediately married within the lie already.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So the marriage was never the same after that, was it?
No, it was. This is at the beginning. You know what I'm saying? This is right at the beginning. And so within that process,
she probably should have kept that to herself.
You get married, you just stay married for the rest of your life. So I figured that I had to accept Kel for who he was because he was my husband. But along the way, I realized that there were just some things that I could not accept. And once I stopped accepting those things that he wanted me to accept, that's when the man got completely psycho and crazy, and this really began the narcissistic nightmare that I'm still I hope people are realizing that this is why this is still trauma, right? Because still, so many years ago, this man is lying about abortions. I mean, just the fact that you're even lying about abortions is crazy. That's like really crazy work. But then also to state that because of these fake abortions or because of cheating, because of me cheating, this man said he wanted to kill himself. I mean, just think about how narcissistic that sounds, right? Another thing is, and I want to clarify this very much. In the interview, Kel is acting like, we did not want our son and it was a secret. It was not a secret. It was never a secret. We wanted our son. He's the one who wanted me to get pregnant with the son. We told everybody. Both of our parents knew as soon as we found out that we were pregnant. And so there was no sneaking around. It was not a shock. Every single person knew, and he made it a point to make everybody know. And so that's even crazy to me, because when this was happening, as soon as I found out that I was pregnant, he was so excited, and his parents, everyone was so excited, and we were all excited. So this is so strange to me, this version of events that he somehow now has. Okay. So his Kel's math isn't mathing. He is not talking about me. I am not the one that is pregnant. It's not even physically possible. The very first time that I had sex, I was impregnated with my son, who is here, and he's alive and well, and there could not have been an abortion in between any of that, because obviously that's not how it works, right? So we were 18 when our first child was born, so I don't know what he's talking about. And then 19, nobody was born. But that's why I'm saying that, I really do think that sometimes when people have mental issues and they have, I don't even know if it's a mental issue, really. I just think that Kel is such a bitch that he thinks that this is how like he stays famous, is to just act like you know, like a poor guy with my wife cheating on me. Like it makes the stuff that he did to myself and our children more tolerable, because I'm such a terrible, poor, slutty woman who sleeps around. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? It's really interesting to me, because he lies about stuff that's just ridiculous, very, very ridiculous, and all of this abortions and all this stuff. And the reason why he says all of these things, I think, are because he's a narcissist. And I have done several videos about how narcissists abuse you at your weakest moments. And so one thing that I had to do, and I'm also a mathematician, so I'm always paying attention to patterns, and I had made a journal. In my journal, I realized that, oh my gosh, that Kel physically abuses me anytime I come out of the hospital, because that's when I'm at my weakest. And so I think that what Kel is trying to do, he's trying to recreate the story to make there be a reason other than the fact that I'm really sick and I have a critical disease, and so I'm forced to go to the hospital a lot. And so he doesn't want anybody to feel sorry for me with all the medical records. So instead, he's trying to equate me going to the hospital with abortions, which is, unfortunately what these kinds of narcissists do. And the older that they get, obviously the better that they get, because I'm sure nobody would even think to put those two together. But I always would have to think about what Kel was thinking, because this is just what happens when you're in these kinds of relationships that are abusive, because you're constantly trying to figure out, like, how do they get to these crazy ideas in their head. And so you're constantly just trying to figure them out. I don't know if that was just me. I was constantly trying to figure this man out for the majority of our relationship. So, well, that's about the abortions. I guess I'll have to do some more videos.
Who do you think is telling the truth? Should we entertain this? What's done is done, right? Let me know in the comment section.